Okay, wait. Because that actually worked. Move you back a little. Oh, it worked. So hi guys. I still don't know what day it is. I know it's Sunday. September. I feel like it's the 27th. It might be the 27th. I'll put the date on the screen when I'm editing. In case you've never met me, or you're re-stumbling upon my channel, hi, my name's Cass. I am 24, and I am now married. It's crazy to say. But yeah, your girl's married. She's a full-on wifey. Absolutely insane. So where do I even go, start to catch you guys up? Okay, so there's a lot of things that I need to catch you guys up on. It's just that's the biggest life change that's happened so far is me becoming a wife. So I apparently had to start with that. So I feel like you guys are really far away, but it looks good in the camera, so it's kind of unfortunate. But okay, so in February, I'm just gonna start off with the whole beginning of 2024 for the big things that have happened this year. In February, me and a group of people from my young adults group at church went to Nashville for the Send, which was a super incredible, just a Holy Spirit filled time. It was so good. So we went to Nashville, went to the Send, which is a 10-hour long event of just worship and speakers and stuff, and it's just so good. And it's a 10-hour event, which sounds super long, but when you're in it and you're worshiping God and you're just in the presence of the Lord, 10 hours felt like an hour max. It was insane. I had to pee before we started, and I didn't go pee. I didn't have to pee until we left. I completely forgot I had to pee. I was just totally enveloped in the Lord. I didn't want to leave. I just wanted to stay in that space, in that presence. I just did not want to leave. And it was so amazing. It was such an incredible time. And people gave their lives to God. People fully were okay. They had encounters with the Lord. It was wild. People were okay, yes, my calling is missions. Okay, yes, my calling is this. Okay, yes, this. Everything was just happening. And at the Send, I had this moment where in my head, I saw me standing up in front of my adults group at Young Adults with our worship leader, and some other people, but it was mainly her that I saw. I don't actually know who else was there with us. It was just her that I saw, and we were worshiping for the beginning of our young adult service, and me texting her okay, I'm in. So then that night I was okay, Lord, I get it. You want me to do worship because it's something that I put off for a year. Camilla and Jesse came to Young Adults to start being Jesse is our Young Adults pastor and Camilla's his wife, and she's the worship leader. So they came at this point. It was a year ago. They had come to the church, and she had been trying to get me to do worship for a year, and I kept saying no, I can't sing in front of people, no, I can't do it. And so finally the Lord was he gave me this vision while I was at the Send, and I was okay God, I get it, you want me to do worship, what else? What's my next thing? What am I supposed to be doing? School, am I supposed to go to school? What am I supposed to be doing? And I got nothing. It was silence. Just so silent. And everyone else was having these incredible revelations and crying and all of these things. And I was just okay, but it's silent. And then at the end of the night, I was talking to my then boyfriend Joseph, who's now my husband, and I feel like if I say my then boyfriend, it sounds like we broke up, but we didn't. So I was talking to Joseph and telling him, like, this is what I saw, but, like, then nothing. Like, it was just silence, and, like, everyone else was having all these experiences, and he was like, well, what do you want? Like, what do you want to see, though? Like, what do you want to hear? Like, God already told you. You have to do worship. Like, he already told you. Like, what else do you want? I said, no, you're right. You're right. Like, he's probably just being like, you need to do worship. I've been telling you for so long that, like, you need to do worship. This is why I put on your heart at 4 years old that you want to be a singer and make music, because you need to be worshiping me. And you just need to do worship, and I don't, like, that's it. Like, you're not going to hear from me until you say yes. So, in the nicest loving way possible, that is, yeah, like, until you're obedient and do what I tell you to do, like, you don't need to hear from me about anything else. So, the next morning, I texted Camilla and I said, okay, I'm in. That was it. No other context whatsoever. Just, okay, I'm in. And she texted me back. And she was like, I think I know what you're talking about, but just to clarify, you're talking about being a worship leader. And I'm so excited. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So I started doing worship slowly here or there. And the first time I actually did it was with Camilla, which was just super special. I love her so much. So yeah, it was just really, really special. And I've done it a couple more times now. And it's just been so amazing. And, like, I've realized that the reason, because I didn't grow up in a Christian home. I grew up in a very worldly, secular home. Like, there was no drugs or, like, anything, like, crazy like that, but it wasn't a Christian household. I didn't go to church, like, none of that. Like, when I was in grade 6, so I was 10 turning 11 in grade 6. My cousin's neighbors would take him to this church thing called Awana. It was like Sunday school Bible study type deal, I guess, but it was like on Wednesdays. And they had groups from like kindergarten up to grade 12, and you would be in your like age group, and you would learn about Jesus, you would learn about God, the Bible. They had like activity books that you would like take home, and you would be assigned like homework for that week, and it would just be like something from that workbook that you have to like memorize or complete or something. And we would play like games, and whoever's group won the game would get like chocolate after or something. It was a lot of fun. Like, it was genuinely fun. And they were like, you can bring out anyone you want. So I brought out my one friend Jonna, who I used to live with. If you remember, you guys have probably seen her a million times, but I used to live with her. I brought her out, and she started coming out, and she really liked it. And then they're like, seriously, like, you guys can bring anyone you want. So then I invited our other friend out, and she willingly came out. She saw it, whatever. But then afterwards, she was like, that was so stupid. Like, that was so dumb, blah, blah, blah. Just like trashing on it. And then me being me, I'm very much like a follower. Like, I want my friends to like me. And because she thought it was stupid, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't something I should be doing. And I just completely let her opinions on it take me away from it. So then I stopped going. I went for the whole rest of the year, and I really liked it. And then summer came, and I was going into grade 7, and I was like, oh, like, I don't want to be like in grade 7 and like having my friends be like, oh, let's hang out Wednesday, and then maybe like, oh, I can't, sorry, I have church. Like, I didn't want that. So I lied and said that I couldn't go because I had to help my mom with my sister. And although true, I did have to help my mom with my sister. It wasn't at that point that I had to. It was like a little bit later on that I started having to help with my sister. So I think, I'm currently realizing this as I'm speaking, but I think me lying and saying I had to help my mom with my sister, God was like, oh, you have to help your mom with your sister? Okay. And then like a little bit later, he was like, yeah, you actually do have to help your mom with your sister. So yeah, and since that point, I actually hadn't done anything church related. During that point that I was, going to Awana, I went to VBS in the summer actually too, while I was still doing Awana. And that was so fun. Like, that was so fun. Oh my goodness. I met this one girl. We instantly became best friends. I forget her name. She gave me her number. I think I lost her number like a long time ago, obviously. And I don't remember her name, but we became like such good friends in that like short period of time. It was insane. Like, we just clicked. Like, it was like so good. And I don't remember her name. It's very upsetting, actually. For some reason, I feel like it started with a T, but I could be completely wrong. Totally wrong. It probably didn't even start with a T. Who knows? I will never know. But yeah, so then I stopped going for the start of grade 7, which was September of 2011. And I didn't do anything church related. I didn't think about God. I didn't think about Jesus. I didn't think about church. Obviously, I was like, yeah, God exists. There's heaven. Like, that's real. That was the extent of it. It was like, yeah, I believe that God exists and that heaven is real. I watched my 16th birthday. I watched Heaven is for Real. Absolutely loved that movie. Fully, wholeheartedly believed it. Like, completely everything. But it just like wasn't something I was like living in. Like, we didn't talk about God. We didn't talk about Jesus. Like, it just wasn't, nothing like that brought up in the household at all, like growing up. And like, I wasn't around anyone that was going to church. I wasn't around anyone that like did any of that stuff. So it just like wasn't something that like came across my mind. But like, if I did see it or I did hear it, I was like, yeah, like totally 1000%, like God is real. But I just wasn't living it. I wasn't living in anything of it. And yeah. And then in 2018, I was working full-time at McDonald's. My mom's friend actually, you know what? In high school, I did one time, I went to church. Jonah actually got brought out by our friend Janessa, who we also lived with. She got brought out by Janessa one time to like a Wednesday night like youth group thing at Central, which is the church that I currently attend. And so one time Jonna was going, but Janessa wasn't, so Jonna invited me out, so I went out with her, and it was great. It was good. It was a good time. I don't really remember much of it. I just remember not knowing anyone, and that's about it. And we were at church, and I don't really remember anything else. But then in 2018, I was working full-time at McDonald's, and my mom's friend, who lives in the States but like pretty close to us, she came down for a Sunday, and she had started taking my little sister Kayla out to church with her, and she asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, okay. So I went with her, and she actually attended Central. So then I started going to Central with her on Sundays. And then I just kind of started slowly getting back into it like that. And then COVID hit. So everything got shut down, churches, all that. And I just couldn't get into the whole church online thing. Like, I just couldn't do it. I kind of fell off. And then I kind of started getting into like law of attraction, like manifestation, like the new age stuff, thinking that it was like good and like no harm and like all these things. Like, it seemed, all the videos I was watching, like it seemed very like spiritual, like, okay, like this is, you know, of like this is God, like this makes sense that it would be connected to Christianity, right? And YouTubers that I watch that are Christian were doing it and like teaching about it and like showing you how to do it and like fully being like, yes, this works, like this is so good, like it talks about this in the Bible, like it's okay, like blah blah blah. And we're all deceived because it's not, like you can't do law of attraction and manifestation as a Christian. Like it talks about manifestation in the Bible, yes, but it's a different, like it's not the same thing. Like it's different. The intent, like it's different. Yeah. But so I started getting into New Age, and just wasn't great. Like it also wasn't really working at all. If I'm being completely honest with you, it was not working. Nothing was happening. Nothing that I wanted to happen was happening at all. And I was like, why isn't this happening? So I started trying harder and harder and harder and harder, and nothing was happening. And then I started watching some more Christian YouTubers that were actually talking about God and talking about Jesus, talking about the Bible and all these things. And I don't know what happened first in this timeline of things. That's kind of meshed into my head a little bit. But I remember I was watching this one channel. I can't remember what her name was, or if I could even find her channel, but I ended up asking Jesus to like re-save me, because I asked Jesus to save me when I was 12. I was 11 or 12. I think it was 11. It was like it was around Christmas time. Yeah, I was still going to Awana, because I remember after Christmas when we went back to Awana, I told the Cools, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, like I got saved, blah blah blah. Like it was so yeah, I was 11. So I got saved when I was 11, but then, you know, I fell off and all that stuff. So then I remember being in my room watching a YouTube video and just asking God to just asking Jesus to save me. And I like remember sitting there and I was praying and I was talking to Jesus and I was just asking God, and like I was just like, can you, like, I don't remember what I said, but I just asked him to save me. And I just remember sitting in my dark room and just my eyes, like, you know when you close your eyes and you can see stuff, like right now I see like red, but it was just white, like this white light just washed over my like eyesight while my eyes were closed. Like it was wild. And then somewhere along the way I started getting sleep paralysis. I'm gonna say it's connected to the New Age stuff I was doing, because that's the only thing that makes sense. I started getting sleep paralysis, which could be a whole other video if you guys would like to hear about my sleep paralysis experiences. They're not quite enjoyable at all, to be completely honest. So yeah, I started getting sleep paralysis, and I remember the first time I got sleep paralysis, I was so scared. And I told, like the next day, I had told my dad about it because he picked me up from work that night, because I was working at McDonald's still. And I was working a closing shift, so I was there until like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And he picked me up, so I didn't walk home. Because I used to, when I first started working there and I would work until closing, I would walk home, and it was like a 30-minute walk. And my dad, when he found out, because I live with my mom, and my dad lives like 20 minutes away. And I would walk home. I'd walk the 30 minutes home. I would walk the 30 minutes there when I worked in the morning and everything. And he was like, he got so mad at me. He's like, no, you call me and you ask me for a ride home. Like, you don't walk home at 11 o'clock at night. Like, what are you doing? So he would come and he would pick me up. And he drove me home. And I told him about the sleep paralysis. And he goes, we need to get you baptized or something. I said, I was already baptized when I was a baby. He goes, we need to get you rebaptized. I was like, no, it's okay. I fell asleep on my bed. I didn't want it to happen again, so I slept with worship music and my Bible on my pillow beside me, and it didn't happen, so I think we're good. And then about a year later, it happened again when I moved out of my mom's house into the house with John and Janessa. But I think I was still kind of like, law of attraction manifestation could be kind of fun, it could work this time. It wasn't really out of it like I should have been. But I didn't know that the sleep process was because of the law of attraction and manifestation and all that stuff. Like, I had no idea that it was connected until like later on, and like years later. It's crazy. So yeah. And then, yeah, it's crazy how when you give your life to the Lord, like, the enemy hates that so much that he just tries to like poke and prod at things and like ruin things. Like, I gave my life to Jesus, and then I started getting sleep paralysis because I was doing the law of attraction. And then some family stuff was happening. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's crazy. The Lord's got your back. But like, it's, yeah, the enemy will do anything. Like, and he just twists everything, which is why we think that the law of attraction and manifestation is okay, because he takes something that is of God and he twists it. So then you think it's still of God, but really it's of the enemy. He's trying to bring you down and drag you down to where he's at, and it's not going to work, because he will get you. God will get you. He will save you. It will happen. Yeah, and then ever since then, I have been going to church and young adults and everything on a regular basis, and all of my friends are at church, which is great, because I feel like I'm starting to get like a community of like friends who are like, they're in this, and like they will pray over you and like be there for you, and it's just so beautiful. And it just makes my heart all warm and fuzzy. Where are we in the story now? I like went on so many different tracks here. I don't remember where I am. Oh, we went to Nashville, came back, and then that was in February, and then in March, Joseph, Janessa, and some of our other friends, they went on a mission trip to the DR for a week, which was incredible. Hearing stories about that was so good. And when Janessa came back, we decided that we were all going to move out. Just like to save money, just, whatever. So Shauna got her own place. Janessa moved in with her parents again, and then I moved in with my mom, sisters, and my mom's husband. And yeah, I was gonna live there for a year. In May, just when I got engaged, May 1st, he asked me to marry him. And it was so cute. I actually have a TikTok reel on my TikTok, but I will edit it into this video so you guys can see it. It was so cute. It was such a God moment that I even like filmed it in the first place, because I don't usually film. Like, when we hang out, I don't film. Like, I'm very in the moment. I'm not filming. I'm not thinking about it at all, which is why I don't have a lot of vlogs with him in them, because I just don't think about it. I'm also just very awkward. I will admit it. I'm very awkward. I think it's awkward to talk to the camera while I'm with someone I don't know. I gotta get out of that, because I do like filming, and I do like vlogging, and I do like making videos. It's very fun for me. So I need to get out of that. But yeah, I filmed our little, because he texted me while I was at work, and he was like, we're gonna go on an ice cream date, like wear something nice and like do your hair because he saw me that morning because why did he see me? I think I drove him to work. I don't remember, but I didn't do my hair because I woke up 10 minutes before my shift and I just threw my hair out. You know how hard it is to make sure you do curly hair every day? It's such a hassle, okay? So I just tend to just throw it up in a messy bun and call it a day. So I went home after work and yeah, I filmed me getting ready, like my dress, doing my hair, makeup, us going for ice cream, we got Church's chicken. Like I filmed the whole thing, and then I filmed like the water where we were, not knowing that he had my two best friends, John and Janessa, hiding in the background, waiting to get pictures and video of him proposing. Like, so now it's like this whole thing, and it worked out perfect, and it's such a God moment it's such a God moment. I cannot. God literally was like, you should film this. In my head, I was like, I should film this, and like that was God. It wasn't even me. It was literally God. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Like, yeah. So we got engaged in May. I moved into my mom's in June, I believe. I think it was June. Yeah, it was. It was like the last week of May, June 1st, I was fully moved in to my mom's. And it's funny because I'd always wanted to have my bedroom in like the basement. And I finally got that moving back into my mom's because of where she ended up moving while I was living with John and Joseph. She had to move somewhere else. And they had like a finished basement that had like a bedroom and like a rec room area. So when I moved into my mom's, I got like the bedroom area, and then I took over the rec room area and made it into like a little living room. So yeah, so I was gonna be there for a year. We were gonna have the wedding next August. And then we were trying to plan it and everything, and then we kind of stopped planning. We really didn't have anything planned whatsoever. Joseph went to Jesus 24 in California with his two best friends, and they had a great time. Super, just the Lord was really just present the whole time they were there, and just hearing about it was absolutely incredible. And Jesus Joseph came back and he was like, why are we waiting? Like, we gotta get married now. Like, which is funny because like before he left, he was like, ha ha ha, like what if on there the Lord is like, you have to get married now? So he came back and he was like, actually no, while he was still there, he FaceTimed me and he was like, we were talking, he's like, so this summer? And I was like, this summer we don't have anything planned. But okay. So we got married this summer. We got engaged May, June, July, August, September. We were engaged for 4 months. Yeah, we got engaged May 1st and we were married September 7th, which is actually insane, but it was the most beautiful wedding ever. Like, the most beautiful wedding. And like, we did everything ourselves in 2 months. We planned the whole wedding in 2 months. I found my wedding dress. Bridesmaids all found their dresses. They all had 4 months notice, but like, I really didn't start planning anything at all. And like, yeah, it was just, everything fell into place so perfectly. And like, it really was such a Holy Spirit-filled ceremony. Like, the Lord, you could feel the presence of the Lord at our ceremony, at our reception, like everything. It was just so beautiful. Like, my childhood best friend from when I lived in Edmonton, when I was, I lived in Edmonton from the time I was 2 till the time I was 7. And me and Kaylin had met on the first day of kindergarten, and we instantly became best friends. And then we wanted to hang out, so our moms had to hang out and then they instantly became best friends because we were best friends. And then all of us just did everything together, and they were best friends and we were best friends, and it was perfect and it was so good. And then we moved back to St. Catharines when I was 7, so that was really sad. And we went back to Edmonton twice, once in 2008 and then once in 2010. So that was the last time that I had seen them, was 2010. So it's been 14 years since I've seen them, and they flew in for the wedding. Like 3 to 4 months notice, they got the time and they flew in for my wedding, and it was so insane. And they're not Christian either. My mom also isn't Christian. Like, my mom believes in God and she believes in heaven, but like that's the extent of it. And like so many, like there was people there who they're not Christian, like, and then there's people there that were Christian, and like it was just so beautiful, and everyone had such an amazing time. And like we've had people say like even Kaylin and her mom were like, we've been to a lot of religious weddings, but like that was the most like powerful wedding ever. Like, and then like just hearing people say like how present God was that whole time, like it was just like the Lord was really there the entire day. The Lord was there. It's just so beautiful. And Joseph's best friend, who is his best man, sang over us. He got like the whole wedding party to place their hands on us and at the reception and sing the blessing. And Josh sang with the mic, and he sang the blessing, and it was everyone sang over us. It was just so, so beautiful. And then we ended off the night with worship, and we had all clean songs, and like we had some secular songs, but they were all clean, like nothing crazy. And like it was just a mix of like everything. It was just the perfect night, like the absolute perfect night. It was so good. And it was just so beautiful. I'm gonna put some like clips and things on the screen so you guys can see. But yeah, it was so beautiful. It was so perfect. Oh, so good, so good. Yeah, everything fell into place. The wedding was just, you could feel the presence of God even if you weren't a Christian. Like, it was just so powerful, which we prayed for that before the wedding. Like the week leading up to the wedding, we were like, God, we just want people to feel your presence. Like, if people get saved on our wedding, like that would be amazing. Like if people feel your presence on our wedding, and it just makes them want to know a little bit more, like that would be so incredible. And like the fact that we've had so many people tell us how present God was at our wedding, like it's like God just answers prayers, like he does. It might not be like this exact thing was like in the timing, because it was like we were praying specifically for God to reveal himself at the wedding. We were praying for his presence at the wedding. So like that's a little different, but like he does answer prayers. Like it might not be always in our timing, but God's timing is so much better than ours. And like that's something that I'm like really learning and like really like trying to like remember and like have embedded in me, that like God's timing is always the best timing, even though it's not my timing, because I'm human. God knows everything. My friend says this thing where I might not say it properly, but she says this thing where it's God has like a canvas, and when he paints, he can see the entire picture, but we only see it one brush stroke at a time. And I just think that's really great way of describing it. Yeah, so we got married, and all the pieces fell into place so perfectly. Like even with us getting our apartment, like it just fell into place so perfectly. Like it was such a blessing. And we're just so thankful that we were able to rent this place. Like it's just so incredible. because we were like wedding planning in 2 months while also trying to apartment hunt in those 2 months, and it was like a lot, and we were like, we don't know what's gonna happen. And we were just really trusting like that God was just gonna pull, like he was just gonna bring us through and he was gonna make it work, and he did. Yeah, so we got married, and I moved out of my mom's, and now I live in this incredible apartment with my husband, and it's just kind of crazy. And I still have to go to my mom's and grab all my stuff, but I'm gonna do that either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm gonna see which one, but yeah, I'm gonna go grab all the rest of my stuff tomorrow or Tuesday. Like I have like all my clothes and stuff here, but like all my things are at my mom's. My makeup, my hair stuff. Well, I have like some hair stuff, but like not really. Like all my shoes. I have like 4 pairs of sneakers here, but that's because 2 of them are brand new. And then like books and like my canvases and paint and stuff, and my guitar that I need to learn how to play. And just all of those, like the little things that you have. I just need to get all that stuff. So yeah, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. Let's see. I'm trying to like go back in my timeline here and see if there's anything I missed. Oh, okay, so I had this revelation within the past couple months that the reason that God placed on my 4-year-old heart, okay, 4-year-olds don't know anything about music or how you can make money or anything like that, okay? All I knew at 4 years old was that I liked singing. I wanted to make music. People said I could sing, and I wanted my songs on the radio, and I wanted to tour and sing them. That's all I knew. I actually don't even know if I knew about the touring part until I got a little bit older, but like I knew I wanted my songs on the radio and I wanted to sing. And I feel like the reason, and like that has stuck with me. That's stuck with me since I was 4 years old. I'm 24 now, and it has stuck with me for 20 years. Okay? That's a long time to have the same passion and the same dream. So, my revelation that I had, I almost said resolution, my revelation that I had a couple months ago was that the reason that that dream was placed on my heart at 4 years old and that it's stuck with me this whole time is because I thought that it was supposed to be, you know how like Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Rihanna, Beyonce, like Sierra, like Whitney Houston, like all of, you know, TLC, Nicki Minaj, like all of the big artists, like Justin Bieber, like everyone, you know, all of the big singers. Like I thought it was supposed to be like that, like worldly, all about me, like I was gonna make music about my life, blah blah blah, whatever. But as I get closer to God, I'm realizing that He placed that dream on my heart because I'm supposed to use the gift and the talent that He gave me of singing to make music for His kingdom, to sing about Him, to glorify Him, to bring people to Him. That's what I'm supposed to be using it for. And I had that revelation once I said yes, like a little bit after I said yes to joining the worship team. And just being used in that environment is just really eye-opening for the things that I feel called to do, which it's just how, like, I want to sing, I want to make music, and I want to glorify God in that, and I want to help bring people to his kingdom through that. And I just think that's really beautiful, and like the revelation of like, oh, like that's why this was placed on my heart as at 4. Like 4 is like absolutely wild to me, and I just, yeah, it's just really amazing. And my friends, my one friend, she asked me a couple days ago to do some harmonies on an original song that she wrote. So the other day, it was Friday, I went and recorded those, and we recorded the audio and like the video of it. So I'm really excited to like see that fully like come to life and like be finished and executed and released, so that I can show my mom and my husband and my friends and just like put it out there. And like I'm just so excited, and like I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. Like the Lord really works in ways, like once you're obedient and you spend time with him, like you have to spend time with him. Like that's something that like I'm learning and I'm trying to do more of, because I have times where I'm like really in the word, and I'm like I wake up every day, the first thing I do is spend time with God, and I read his word, and I'm like studying it, and I'm like trying to learn. And then I have months where I just don't pick it up, which is so bad, because I'm like, church is great, but like I can't go off just what the pastor says. Like I have to be in the word, I have to be in the presence myself in my spare time, like in my home. Like twice a week on Sundays and young adults isn't enough. Like it needs to be more, and that's something that I need to work on, is spending time with the Lord. And like I have a really hard time waking up in the morning, but I find it's easier for me to spend time with God in the morning, because by the time I go home from work, I'm like tired, and like I just don't want to do anything, and like it just doesn't cross my mind to like read my Bible. And I just like starting my day off with reading my Bible, because it changes my mood, it changes my perspective, and like I'm just like a happier, bubblier like person because of the word of God. So I need to like just be like more disciplined in like reading my Bible and just talking to Jesus, because he truly does want to hear us. Like God already knows what we're gonna say. God already knows what we're thinking. God already knows what we're gonna say to him before we even say it, but he wants to sit there and listen. He wants us to come to him. And I just think that's so beautiful. Like no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, like God wants to hear you, and he wants to hear what you're going to say, and he wants you to come to him because he loves us. Like we are his children. And like it's such a beautiful thing, and I really need to get better at spending more time in the word. Yeah, like this morning I actually did read I think I read 2 chapters of Acts. So it's slow, but it's a process, and I'm gonna get back into it, which is really good, because especially like now that I'm married, like the enemy is going to come at me and Joseph, because he doesn't like what we're gonna do for the kingdom is gonna be incredible. Like I already know, and like the enemy doesn't want that, so like he's gonna come at us, and we need to be armored up with the Lord. Like it's, yeah. So yeah, that is something that I need to work on too, is just spending time in the presence of the Lord and just reading his word and just worshiping. But yeah, I'm married. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, that was my revelation, that I need to make music for the Lord, not for myself. And that is kind of, I guess, what we just did on Friday. It's about God. It's about Jesus. And I'm just so excited for it to come out. Yeah, I think I've caught you guys up on everything that's happened in my life since February. I'm so excited. I've tried to film a catching up with you guys video for the longest time, and it never works. It never works. So I'm happy that this finally worked out, and I'm finally able to catch up with you guys and talk to you guys and fill you in on all the little things that have been going on in my life. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm so excited to edit this too. Like, I really want to get back into like filming videos and like editing and like posting and stuff. I want to get like consistent with it. So we'll see what happens, but I do really want to get consistent with it. Lord willing, he helps me with my productivity and just being more like disciplined and structured with my time in my day. Like, that's one thing too, is I need to be praying before I go to sleep. And while I'm praying before I go to sleep, I need to be asking the Lord to help wake me up with motivation and determination and productivity mindset, and to not be lazy. I need to ask him to help me not be lazy. And I need to get up, and I need to make the bed, and I need to read my Bible, and I need to shower and get ready for the day. That is how I need to start my day. Yeah. That's how I need to start my day. So, yeah. And I need to pray in the morning. Yeah, that's it. That's how I need to do it. That is my goal. It sounds like a simple goal. Like, it sounds like something I should just be able to do. But it's really hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I want this to be like very, like, I want to be a very transparent person. Not like share all the little tiny details of my life, you know, that like you don't need to know. But like, when it comes to like my walk with God, like, I don't want it to come off like I'm like holier than thou or anything, because I am very new to this life. Like I said, I didn't grow up in this, and I've been off and on for since 2018, and like there's just been a lot of things that have happened. Like, I feel like 2020, the beginning of 2023 is when I really started like taking my walk with the Lord seriously. Yeah, 2023 is when I like really was like, okay, God. And like I was already going to church. Like, I don't know, I was already going to church every Sunday. I was going to young adults every Thursday. I was, you know, listening to worship music. I was reading my Bible. I was doing all the things. But I was broken inside. If I'm being completely honest, I was broken. And 2023 is when I started coming out of that brokenness. So I'm learning a lot, and it's a step-by-step process, and I am just so thankful that the Lord just doesn't give up on his children, because I would not be here if he did. So God is so good, you guys. God is so good. And I need to make a testimony video at some point. One day, I will make a testimony video. I'm so glad I caught you guys up on my life as of this far, for the year so far. This is so good. I'm so excited. Yay! I don't know if this is gonna be in my vlog that I'm filming, or if this is a separate video, but if this is a separate video, I'm so thankful that you stuck around and you watched this whole thing. If you stuck around to the end, I know it's kind of long. And I'm just really excited for this new chapter of my life and just what it's gonna look like. And I'm just really wanting to bring you guys along on little parts of that. journey. If you're interested, stick around, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification so you can stay up to date whenever I upload a video, and I will see you all in the next video. Also, chat with me in the comments because I want to chat, say hi. I don't know. Okay, bye.